This conference will now be recorded.
So before starting today, so any questions anyone so far before starting? Okay, so by this time, so all of you, so I recommend to register for the free Salesforce Developer Edition account. Okay, so by this time, you should be registered and have the account, right? So some of you, if you are not already registered, so make sure to go to developer.salesforce.com and sign up for the free developer edition account, which will be lifetime with you. There is no expiry date. Okay, so on top you need to click on this button, browse trails, something, they change the UI, and you need to click on sign up for Salesforce Developer Edition and sign up for the account. Okay, so I'm expecting all of you to register and have your account. Okay, in general, once you register on day to log in, you need to go to, again, no need to go to developer.salesforce.com. Once you sign up, once after completing the registration on day to log in, you need to open a website called login.salesforce.com. Right? In general, if you want to log into the Salesforce production or the developer edition, so this is the URL, login.salesforce.com. So enter the username, password, and login so that you can see all the standard applications, whatever Salesforce by default offer. Okay, and also sometimes what is happening, so people are opening this login.salesforce.com, and here if you see there is a button try for free. Even though I'm explaining, asking to register in the developer.salesforce.com, so some people they are registering here. Okay, so if you register here, it is only 30 days free trial. After 30 days, you need to pay or the account will be expired. Okay, so for our practice, whatever we practice, whatever we do, we don't want to lose. Okay, so if you don't want to lose, don't register here. Okay, make sure to go to developer.salesforce.com and make sure to sign up here only. Okay, yeah, that's the first thing. So, and also slowly I'll give access to our class account. So whatever I explain in the training, so already I registered for one of the account for class purpose. I will provide the instructions how you can log into this class account and access. Okay, maybe here you are seeing this username password. From your side, if you try to log in, you might not be able to log in. So the reason is when you, even though we know someone's username and password, when we try to log into that account from a new internet IP address, okay, new internet means when we access internet, okay, there will be some unique IP, right? My internet IP is this one. Maybe the internet whatever you are using will be having a different IP address, right? So whenever we try to log into our account from a new IP, Salesforce will additionally expect the verification code. Okay, so for me, since already I logged into this account previously, so it did not ask anything. From your side, if you try to log in, you might see it is asking for the verification code. which will come to my email address. Or if I registered for the mobile number, I get to my mobile. If I give that verification code, then only you can log in. Okay, but I'm not going to provide access to this. Okay, so because if I give access to this, I think there are many people, right? So some people they are deleting and creating and disturbing whatever we created in the class. So to avoid that, I'm going to create one more user and provide read-only access. Okay, so there is some restriction we can apply for the user. I will give access through a read-only restriction. Okay, so how we do that, all the restrictions, all those things, we have the upcoming topics. So that time in detail we discuss. Okay, for now, so wait for one more day, I'll give access with a different credential. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, but when you practice, you need to practice in our own account, own developer edition account, right? The class account, whatever I provide access is only for the reference. You can log in and see what we configured, so what we developed in the class. But the practice, right? Newly, whatever I created in the class, same thing you will be repeating in your developer edition account, whatever you register. Okay, you have to do the practice in our own account. The class account is only for the reference. So just understand these things. So now we logged in. So at high level, we have the Salesforce Lightning experience, and also we have the Salesforce Classic. And that understanding we should have. Okay, in the Lightning experience, to see the standard applications, you need to click on this app launcher. And this is app launcher. Click on app launcher, search for the application, or you can click on view all and choose the application. Right, marketing is one of the standard application. Okay, so frequently we refer the term standard. Okay, so standard means whatever by default Salesforce offer, that we call as standard. So what we create as per the company requirement, which is not by default provided by Salesforce, we call as custom. Okay, so now whatever we are seeing, all these are the standard applications provided by Salesforce. We can also create the custom application, right? Custom means which is not provided by Salesforce by default, which we created to satisfy the company requirement, right? So we'll be doing all those things, okay, when we start. So this theoretical part, whatever I am explaining, so only for these first sessions, maybe today, tomorrow. After that, everything will be practical. I'll be navigating and configuring and explaining, right? 90% practical things we see by taking the requirement. Okay, so just before we start that, since we should know the basics, I'm explaining all these things, right? So now we are trying to understand as a end user, right? End user means, right? If you assume that we are dealing with Apple company, right? So we are pretending that, so we are trying to log in as so one of the, right? So marketing representative from the Apple company, right? So something like that we are pretending and trying to understand the applications. Okay, I think I'm trying to somewhere I typed it right yesterday. Yeah, this, right? So maybe just to stick to this Apple company. So assume that they registered, and once they register, they get the Salesforce production, right? Which we registered for the developer edition is something like that. Okay, so maybe Banu or this user registered. This user can create few more users. Everyone they can log in and access, right? So when they log in, right, one of these employees, so they can explore applications like this and understand how this will work. Okay. So the thing is here, marketing is application. All these are the tabs. So already we discussed. Tab will be internally linked to an object. Object is nothing but database table. So yesterday we understood about the campaigns, right? So when you click on campaign tab, see the campaigns. These are the list views. So if there are, let's say, 100 records, you want to see only based on some criteria, you can create a list view. Okay, how we create all those things, we'll see going forward. For now, these are the standard list views. So based on the list view, based on that filter, you see the records. Okay, so also yesterday we saw how we create a new record, how we can modify the existing record by opening, how we delete, how we undelete from the recycle bin, right? So from recycle bin you can undelete, but there is a limit. So whenever we delete the record, it will be there only for 15 days in the recycle bin. Within 15 days, we have the option to choose those records and undelete, right? So these kind of limits we call as governor limits. Why these limits? Because we are working in a multi-tenant environment, right? Multi-tenant in the sense, when we registered for this company, we got space in one of the Salesforce server. To know which server we have this account, you need to click on setup. This is just it's like we are recapping and understanding, because this is most important. So you should be in the setup area, right? When someone says click on setup icon, this one, click on setup, right? So here just search for company information. So here you see mostly the details about this company, what's this developer edition, and if you see we have the instance NA224. To see all the Salesforce servers, we have trust.salesforce.com. Okay, so you can go here and Salesforce services and see, right? So, and also, right, I mean, the reason why we need to know this, so first we should understand this is not only for our company, this is for many other companies also. Okay, so in the same server, all different companies information also maintained by Salesforce, but the uniqueness will be given based on the salesforce.com organization ID. Using this unique ID in this server, Salesforce identify that information belongs to a specific company, right? So it's like that. And also here, whatever the basic software Salesforce is offering, that will be there in this server. And also you see version, right? So like when we use Windows 11, right? There are keep on Microsoft, they release the new versions. Same way Mac OS, there are different versions. Same way Salesforce CRM, Salesforce platform, they also release new versions. For sure, Salesforce, they offer 3 versions: winter, spring, summer. Now winter 23 version is going on. After that they release spring 23, like that, keep on. They'll release new versions. Whenever they release new version, in that version, whatever the new features they introduced, we see those things. Just understand those. It will be useful to know this, because sometimes we need to know which version this production belongs to, right? Especially, let's say they are launching spring 23 and we are waiting for one of the new feature offered as part of the spring 23. So we want to know when the spring 23 version will be available for this instance. At that time you can click on this maintenance part, and here you can try to see. So if you see, I'm seeing Feb 11th, spring 23 major release. That means the new version they are updating in this server from February 11th. All the companies, whoever is having their application in this instance, from February 11th, they see this spring 23 version. Okay, it's like that. So at least for that purpose, we should know that this place where we can see the server. And also sometimes if you feel you logged into Salesforce and it is little bit very slow or it's not working properly, you can see the health here, right? Once you visit this website, you see available, and that means all these are good. So server is up and running properly. There is no issue with the server, right? Server is like a supercomputer. So if you see performance degradation, means something is, it's not very fast, maybe something, maybe it is slow or something, right? So that time you see this icon. This one means the server is not working, right? Sometimes our laptop won't work, we need to restart, right? Like that, the server, there might be a problem, right? So maybe when they identify, immediately they'll try to make it available as soon as possible. Okay, so these are the icons. And at high level to know, so AP means Asia Pacific, NA means North America, EU means European region, right? And nowadays, specific to the countries, maybe IND, AUS, right? So Salesforce, they introduced new servers, too many servers. Previously, these many servers were not there. And also, when you see CS, it is customer sandbox, means going forward, we create the test environments. We don't directly work in the production, we create the test environment. That time mostly those will be created with this. Okay, so just understand that part. And now today to continue, so we have many other tabs, right? So here, as part of the marketing application, marketing reps, they create the advertisements under this campaigns tab. The advantage with these advertisements, so due to these advertisements, people in the market, they will try to respond, right? Inquire, right? Anyone, if they inquire based on this advertisement, so the inquiry, right? Who inquired? That person, is that person belongs to any company, that company information will be captured in the lead, right? Lead is an inquiry, right? So who inquired, for which company, both information will be maintained in the lead. Okay, so here again, this is a tab, and these are the standard list views by default from Salesforce. So I want to see this, see, and this is the sample data from Salesforce. Even if you register, you see the same data. So maybe really when you work for the client, we delete everything and create the client specific data. For now, for our just exploring and understanding, so I'm opening one of the lead. This lead name, right? So where the boxer is the lead, and this lead belongs to the company Farmers Group of Florida. And title director, right? This is the title. She's working in this company, and the company contact. This is the phone number. This is the email address, right? To see more details, you can click on this details, right? So you see this is the name, company title, the lead source from web, maybe the company industry, right? Some company specific information, some information about the employee working in that company. So this is like a lead looks like this. Okay, now that company, right? When you assume that we are dealing with the Apple company, the marketing reps of the Apple company, right? This lead is generated. So there is a status, right? What is happening, right? Once someone inquired, this marketing rep, they need to call and check for their interest, right? In general, initially open, not contact. New inquiry came, right? And if you see this, we call as path, lead path. Okay. So based on this status, this is highlighted. And maybe the marketing rep called to this lead, right? Phone number is there, or mailed to this lead, call or mail, right? So that means they started working, right? So now let's say lead is responded to know the further details, or they are showing some interest. So then lead can be converted, right? So if they are not interested, right? Converted means, yeah, so I think they are showing further interest. This lead can be become as a customer, right? So what they'll do, the lead will be converted. There is a button called convert. It will be converted into account and contact. I'll show you how that will happen. In case if they are not responding smoothly, or maybe they are not interested, so close or not converted. Okay, that means they inquired, but somehow after that, so let's say they are not interested, right? Let's say on day-to-day example, right? Let's say you need um, personal loan, right? You will try to contact the banks, right? We get calls from different banks, right? So just you can inquire, right? So what is the interest, and you inquire with multiple banks. Whoever offers less interest rate will take the loan from that, right? So it's like that. Maybe they can inquire, but due to some reason they don't maybe continue, right? So I mean, when they contact, then they'll get to know they are interested or not. Based on that, this will be marked. Okay. So now let's say the lead is interested, right? Right. That means maybe in our example, let's say you are interested to take the loan. It's not that you get the loan immediately, right? The next phase, so you'll ask the quotation and payment terms and many other things, right? So first, since you are showing interest, this lead will be converted. So you see a button or quick action, right? So when you click on this convert, okay, this lead can be converted as account, contact, and opportunity. Okay, so account, all the company specific information. If you see in the lead, right? Company name, company industry, annual revenue of that company, address of the company will be captured into this account. Okay, and the personal information, the employee information, right? So birth, boxer, email address, mobile, all those details will be captured into contact, right? This person is working in this company. At here, account is company, contact is the employee who is working in that company. The opportunity is the deal, what they want, right? So that one. Okay. I mean, so based on what we deal, right? If it is Apple company, so this maybe they need some Apple laptops or mobile phones. That's the opportunity, right? Maybe in some other business, one of the companies looking for loan, right? So that's the opportunity name. It's like that. Okay. So you can give some name and convert. Okay. Now here the point is lead can be converted as account, contact, and opportunity. Account is company, contact is employee working in that company, opportunity is the deal, right? What they want. So now here creating this opportunity is optional. If you don't want to generate the opportunity, maybe you want to generate later, you can check this and convert so that only account and the contact will be created. Okay, let's say sometimes client asks, they want to generate only contact, they don't want account, right? That is not possible, right? With out of the box, right? You see this term out of the box. Out of the box means standard, with the standard UI, right? With the standard functionality, whatever Salesforce is offering, with this standard functionality, the standard screen, only the possibility is you can create account, contact, opportunity, all three, or if you want, you can skip opportunity so that account and contact will be created. It's not possible only to create the contact, but client is asking, right? The company where we are trying to configure this application, they are asking, they want to only generate the contact. So then we need to work, right? So that's our job, right? Why we get the job, to deal with these kind of requirements. So they want something beyond whatever Salesforce is offering. Now we need to understand that requirement and configure and provide the solution. In this process, this requirement can be achievable with the point and click configuration tool, that means administration, or we need to end up with doing the development, right? Customization means development, right? We need to develop this entire screen and provide option to only create the contact, right? Everything we need to develop and the background business logic, everything. Okay, so I mean, we'll see all those things as part of the concepts what we discuss as part of the admin and develop. Okay, I'm just giving one use case. Okay, for now, with the standard thing, I am creating all three, right? And convert. And this is how, right? So we can convert the lead, right? Account, contact, and the opportunity generated. Okay, once the opportunity is generated, mostly companies they recruit sales representatives. So those employees, when they log into Salesforce, they click on app launcher. So mostly they deal with the sales application. Okay, so I'm opening the sales application. On day to day, the sales representatives, they log into Salesforce and they look for the opportunities. And so they open opportunity and understand this opportunity belongs to which company, how to contact them when we open that. So contact. Okay, so they'll call to this and check, try to convince and close the deal, right? So what is the cost, right? When they close this deal, how much money they get, right? So let's say $100K, right? So they can update, and also the close date, right? When it is closed, all those kind of things. Okay, so the thing is again for deal, right? So what is happening to a deal? What is the progress, right? The sales rep start working on the deal and mark the stage in which stage the deal is, right? Prospecting, qualification. So whatever they are looking, is it really this company offering is matching? So those kind of things. Okay, these values can be provided as per the company requirement. We can change these values. We'll save those things going forward. Okay, so negotiation and review means somehow, right? Everything is okay. So they are talking about the discount kind of thing, right? So this we call as sales path. Okay, maybe in lead, so we call as lead path, right? But when we deal with the opportunity, right? Opportunity is nothing but a deal, trying to sell a product or service. So technically we call this as sales path. Okay, this is decided based on this stage. Yeah, the probability of closing this deal 90%. 90% mostly they take. Maybe they can reject also based on other factors. Okay, so this, right, sales rep, they deal like this and track the progress of this. Okay, and also if they want to decide the price, right, it's not like sometimes some deals direct amount and save. So sometimes it's all based on the product, right? So products are, right, when you deal with Apple company, let's say Apple iPhone 14, maybe Apple laptop, Apple iPad, right? So those products, again, you see one more tab for products. You see all the configured products here. What is the product name? What is the code of the product? What is the price? Right? All those kind of things. Okay, so I mean, sometimes if the company is going with the products, they choose the product, right? Click on next, and what is the quantity they want, right? One or two or whatever based on the requirement. Price again, this is the default price, but they can also change. See, right? So when you do like that, right? If you see this amount, it's automatically changed based on the quantity, whatever I have choose. This becomes read only. Means now if you see I'm not able to change the amount because we are adding the product and going based on the product, right? So like that, right? So these kind of things will be there. So the reps, they log in and try to do all these kind of things on day to day. So our job is something beyond what Salesforce offer. So to provide that feature, okay, so we need to work. So while achieving that, we need to do configuration and also the customization. This is just to understand, right? Sales reps and all these things. Yeah, the next phase, right? Let's say this is, let's say, closed one, means they won the deal, right? So that means money is generated, and so the next phase is support, right? There might be a problem with this product. When there is a problem, they'll contact the support. So at that time, we have the service application. Okay, service. Okay, so the support representatives, they log in on day to day, and you see cases, right? So here, right, any support activity, so they configure as case, right? This some sample data. Closed cases means I think already the solution is provided for this. They solved the issue, right? So maybe subject starting generator after electrical failure. I think there is some problem. Yeah, I think they fixed this. That's why status is closed. So like that. So all these standard applications. So maybe the different employees of the company, they log in and access. Okay, these are the default Salesforce CRM applications. But in the process, we understood few requirements beyond what Salesforce offer, right? So whatever by default Salesforce offer, that we call as standard, right? Standard means out of the box, means standard. So beyond the standard, there is something needed. So that's our job, right? So now we are understanding this as a end user, right? But who can configure to achieve those requirements? So administrators or developers. This course is mainly for someone, right? Maybe as an end user also you can understand. And beyond that, the configuration and customization capability. So once we get the job, we should be able to configure, or we should be able to develop those things we see. Okay, I mean our scope, right? So here we are just discussing this Apple company. They registered, they explored about the CRM applications, and we understood in the process of exploring. So they want some additional um, functionality, additional features beyond what Salesforce is by default offered. Let's say they identified 100 requirements altogether after exploring for 1 month, right? Now, this Apple company, they need someone who work on these requirements and provide the solution for them. Maybe directly this Apple company, they don't have any IT department. Maybe they might have IT department, but they don't have the employees who knows Salesforce. So that time what they'll do, these companies, they invite some companies for the bidding. Right? There are some companies like Wipro, TCS, CTS, some companies, right? So they invite these companies for bidding. Okay, so maybe one of this company, they win the bidding, right? Let's say this company quoted, and somehow this company like that, right? Now maybe Wipro company, right? Wipro is a service-based company, right? Like Apple, they have Dell and many other companies as customers. So this Wipro company, what they'll do, they recruit the IT employees who knows Salesforce, and give those employees to these clients, and we need to work. Right? Let's say when you get the job, we get the job in this kind of company, Wipro, TCS, or some company, right? So this Wipro company, what they'll do, they'll allocate a team for Apple to achieve those 100 requirements. Let's say they allocate a manager, right? So, and also let's say they allocated a team lead, right? Maybe they allocated 3 team members who can work on the admin and development of Salesforce, and also to do the testing, right? So let's say one team member they are adding for QA, means quality assurance testing, who do the testing, so for them. Okay, so this process. Okay, so this team is allocated to the Apple company to do the project, right? So that's what will happen. Okay, so just understand. So that time when we get the job, right, you might be one of the team member or one of the team lead, or you might be the manager or QA, right? So all these are the job profiles what we get. Okay, maybe not only this based on the need, they also add one BA, right? So BA means business analyst, who talk to, right? Maybe manager will manage how they're, right, so working and all those kind of things. This BA, right, who knows about the business, right? So this person try to talk to the Apple company employees and understand their requirements, right? And this person create the requirement, so that will be assigned to one of the team members, and they work, right? So based on the need, I mean, high level, I mean, just I'm adding few things. So when we get the job, right, you might be, let's say, already you are into testing and you want to do the testing with Salesforce, you will be getting this opportunity, right? So maybe you don't know anything, you are starting newly, you might be the admin, might be the developer. If you know both is better, right? Or you already have some MBA background or something, and you are interested to continue as a business analyst, right? Or people say product manager, they're different roles. Okay, so that time you also, for anything, either for QA or business analyst, or you want to continue as administrator developer, this administration course is the base for everyone, even manager also. So I recommend learning this admin in respect of any job role. Admin is the base, because as part of the administration, if you see, we are understanding what is this Salesforce company, so what they are providing CRM applications. They are also providing the platform called Force.com platform, where we can do the configuration, customization. So all these basics will be knowing and understanding. Okay, so just understand. Okay, so our full course covers this admin and development. This. Okay, so just understand. Okay, so this team is allocated to work for Apple company. So we need to work on achieving these 100 requirements. This is how the project starts, right? And maybe you might be from the beginning of the project, or you might be added in the middle of the project or at the end of the project. We don't know, right? When we get the job, the project might be in any stage, right? We should be ready to work on anything, right? If you are from the scratch, it's good. And if you joined in middle, just in the background, it already they started like this, and they might be achieved some requirements, and again, rest of the requirements we need to work. It's like that. Okay, so that is how the project starts. Okay, so now, so where to work, right? This guy, the business analyst, talk to this Apple company. These requirements will be created by this BA, right? And also one of the most important thing, maybe this is not about Salesforce. So especially for someone who is starting with IT, so to know the project, how it works, it will be useful. Okay, maybe already if you are working, okay, you might be knowing, but someone who is not in IT and trying to get into IT, so how the project is maintained on day to day, that also we should know, right? So someone who is not working for a software company, they are wondering how these requirements, do they mail us daily? They send email and we need to check email and work. They keep in Excel and we need to check from there, right? So like that. The thing is, in general, in the companies, right? To so once this BA after talking, so these requirements will be created in a meaningful way, which can be understandable by all these employees, right? So companies, they use some tools. Okay, so we call maybe project management tools, right? So company to company, we don't know which tool they use. So one of the famous one is Jira. Okay, so it's also cloud based, like Salesforce. Jira is one of the web based project management tool, right? So already we know, we are discussing, Salesforce offers the CRM applications. So any company who want to use CRM application, they register with Salesforce and use, right? The same way, the software companies, to manage the projects, to store the requirements and to see the requirements are assigned to whom, what is the progress of the requirement, they need some project management tools like Jira, right? Maybe not only Jira, many other. Okay, you might be seeing working with one of these tools. Okay, Jira, maybe Rally, right? Maybe many things, right? Agility. There are many other tools are there. We don't know which tool the company use. Okay, so the most famous is Jira. See, people are using Jira. Okay, so maybe, right, just to show you. Okay, so there is one tool called, just I'm trying to show a tool which is free. Just the Jira or Rally or whatever the other things I'm explaining, it looks so similar to this, whatever I'm trying to show. Okay, you see the requirements coming like this. Okay, maybe now whatever I'm explaining is not Salesforce, right? But I'm trying to explain how the project starts, right? We should know how exactly we work in a project, just to understand that. Okay, so just I logged in. This is a free tool. Okay, so similar to that. So you see, the projects will be created like this. The company, right? Maybe the Wipro company for Apple Salesforce CRM, they have one project. Maybe for Dell company, they have some project or some other company. Many projects. We might be working in one of this project, right? So like here, maybe the training management is one of the project, right? So now under this project, so all the requirements are added as backlog. Okay, backlog means the requirements are added, but still no one is picked to work. So that's the backlog. Okay, and also apart from this tool, right? This tool is like this. So along with this, the project methodology, right? I mean, there are what is the process followed in the project, right? Is it like all 100 requirements they work at a time for 3 months or 6 months and deliver? Is it like that? Or they'll be working, taking only few requirements and completing those for 2 weeks and deliver, taking next few requirements and deliver. So there are different process, right? So in most of the projects, 90% nowadays, no one is right. Olden days, all 100 requirements in 6 months or 1 year they work and deliver. But nowadays it's not like that. Okay, so take few requirements, either one or two or three, which can be completed in a time of 2 weeks or 1 month and deliver. Take next requirements, work and deliver. Such kind of process most of the companies are following. Okay, so that mostly we call as agile process, right? So when you try to attend manager interviews and all, they ask maybe manager don't know technically. They ask what is the methodology followed, all those kind of questions, right? Because really, if you work, you might be knowing, right? So apart from knowing the concepts, right, we should also know the process, right? So when you work, what is there in the project? Yes, I'm just trying to give that. Maybe most of you, if you are already working, just you might be knowing all these things. This is for someone who are not in IT. Okay, so the process mostly you see agile process. Okay, so agile process means, so what will happen? They won't work for all 100 requirements at a time. As part of the agile process, they follow the sprint, right? You see something like sprint. Sprint means one release. Maybe in simple terms, it's like one release, right? One cycle. So mostly, right? So you see the duration as 2 weeks, right? So let's say sprint one, sprint two, sprint three, so on. Keep on. It's like the work and release like that, right? Every sprint 2 weeks. Okay, so now what will happen in this sprint, right? All these 100 requirements backlog means requirements are created, but these are not assigned to anyone. These are the things which are in pending stage. They'll pick some of the requirements. How many employees are there? This BA only talk to business and give. This guy is not working. I mean, he just do create requirements kind of thing, right? Mostly this team lead and these guys, they need to work on achieving those requirements, right? 4 members. Manager also just manage the project. But these are the people they work and deliver. Okay, so 4 members are there. These 4 people out of 100 requirements, how many they can take and work? Let's say each person is taking one requirement, right? So the team lead one requirement, the other guy one requirement, right? Let's say total 4 requirements, right? So they take and start working. Okay, so also while achieving this, so 1 week is for development, right? Development or configuration, right? Whatever the activity, one week to achieve the requirement, either configuration or development. They take 1 week. And the QA, right? This testing team. Maybe based on the project, they might add more testers also. Okay, just this is basic example. 1 week for QA testing, right? So let's say I'm one of the developer. First week I achieved my requirement, and second week the QA team they do the testing. So it's not that only 1 week we work and second week we don't do anything and leave, right? Maybe first week we work and give to QA. They will raise bug, right? It's not that whatever we developed is 100% correct. Mostly you also see some defects. So in the second week, we need to fix those bugs and deliver, right? This QA guy, maybe in the first week, he will write some test cases, right? He will plan how to test, right? So log into Salesforce, click on a tab, something like that. He prepared test cases. Second week, he will do the testing, right? It's like both work all 2 weeks. Okay, and right, once it's done, maybe one of the requirement is not completed, right? So that can be moved to sprint to 2 also, right? Along with that, 2 more requirements or whatever they take and continue working. This will be repeated. Keep on repeated. This one, okay. Next, after next 2 weeks, if something is not completed, again move to next release. This is how, right? So in the project we work. This process we call as SL process. Okay, and also what will happen, right? So how, who decide these 4 requirements needs to be worked by this team, right? So before every sprint, they conduct one meeting, right? Backlog grooming, right? So as part of this backlog grooming, all these people, right? Everyone join, and these people pick some requirements, and also they can say, I need 1 day or 3 days, right? And based on that, they'll start working. Okay, so this will be before starting the sprint. But once it is started and working, not like no one will ask until 1 week. Okay, in the agile process, you see stand-up calls, right? So daily stand-up, right? Nowadays, everyone is working remotely, but if you go to office, all these team members they assemble in one conference room. Stand up in the sense mostly they stand and quickly discuss, right? So the purpose of this meeting is just quick updates, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that, right? Everyone, so they will update the status, right? So what they did yesterday, what they are doing, today, right? Let's say yesterday I created not the object, something like that, right? So today again, what I am working, those kind of things, everyone they update, right? It's like a short meeting, okay? And then in a blocker or something, someone is talking, so the other people try to help and right, so they know what is happening. Yeah, so that's why you see, right, daily stand-up calls or scrum calls, right? People use different terminology, right? Say scrum call or all these kind of things. Okay, so these kind of things are followed. It's, at least knowing this is good, because really who did not work, they don't know, right? So if in case if you are new to IT, this will be useful and understand this process. Okay, nowadays, again, based on this agile, again, there are different models, and different things are coming. Okay, so yeah, based on the project, we need to also understand those kind of things. But this is the most standard, right? Again, nowadays, agile, Kanban, or the many other processes, people are, right, following. So again, it again add a little more process on that, right? So nowadays the people started calling as PI, means program increment. So PI planning. So what will happen? Each PI will have maybe 6 sprints, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, totals 6 2 weeks is 3 months, right? Total 3 months. All these 3 months they plan full first 3 days. So all different teams, right? So they join and right. So such kind of process. After again sprint 6, again one more PI, right? I mean, you see people maybe keep on, these kind of things will be added in the process. Okay, so we don't need to bother about all those kind of things. Okay, maybe again this is PI1, again PI2 will come, again 3 months, again that 6 sprints will be there, right? So just I'm giving some idea. Maybe this you don't know, so okay, at least a sprint and this process just to get to know. Okay, so when you join in a company, so you'll be seeing sprints, and at least daily we need to update our status. It's like that. Yeah, so like that the project will be maintained. Right now, so when we start while working, where to work, right? That's the thing in Salesforce where exactly we need to work. So before we understand that, any questions anyone so far, just to understand, are you following, or any questions, you can ask all your questions. So someone is asking to repeat. I'm sorry, I did not check this message. Yeah, you can ask, I mean, what exactly is your question? Okay, so lead is a inquiry, right? I mean, still you have question. Okay. Yeah, I mean, any questions are able to follow what I'm explaining? Just maybe if you say yes, so maybe I'll continue with
Yes,
next
Srini.
things.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So now, right, the question is where to work. Let's say I am one of the developer, right? Say assume that you joined and you are one of the admin or developer. Where to work? Do we need to work in this Apple production? No, right? Production is the live environment. All Apple employees, they log in and use the CRM application. When we do the development, the configuration or the development, whatever we do, we should not directly work in the production, right? So we need to work in a test environment, because while doing the configuration or development, we do a lot of mistakes, right? So it might take some time to perfectly configure and test and see it is working properly. That's why not only Salesforce, so any other technology, no one directly work in the production, right? Before working in the production, we test our configuration or development, what we are doing in a separate place. After testing only, we so try to directly work in the production, right? So it's like that. So how to create that test environment? Okay, so that I'll show you. Okay, now what will happen? Any company when they register with Salesforce, so whatever they get is production to login.salesforce.com, like this. So since directly here we should not work, because if you try to work here, the real application or the real data, right, the records, whatever is created, will be impacted. To avoid that, Salesforce is offering an option called Sandbox. Sandbox is nothing but the test environment. Okay, so in general, to right, so someone should create a test environment from the production, because the test environment will be nothing but the copy of the production, right? The production application, whatever is there, will be copied and hosted in some other server, some other Salesforce server, where on top of that we configure, develop, and test. If everything is working, then move those changes to this production. Okay, so in general, to create the sandbox, once we log into production, we need to click on this setup, right? Already, if you are in setup, how we know? You see here, if you see setup, that means already in the setup area. If you are not here, you need to click on this gear icon and click on setup, right? Once you see this, so left side, you can search for sandbox. Okay, so once you search for sandbox, you can click on sandbox and create the sandbox. But here the problem is we are not using the paid account, right? This is a developer edition, the free account from Salesforce. Anyone who want to start with Salesforce, they can register for developer edition. So this developer edition is forever. There is no expiry, but there is a limit, because if they give all features, no one will buy and use the Salesforce, right? So this is a free account. There are some limitations. One of the limitation is they are not allowing to create the sandbox, right? Test environment and all is not allowed, right? Only in the paid account, the sandbox can be created. Okay, for you, you don't need to bother about creating the sandbox. Okay, so sandbox also looks exactly similar to whatever the developer edition. Yeah, I'll show you. I have one paid Salesforce account. I will log into that and I'll show you how the sandbox options we can see how it can be created. For you, you don't need to bother. Okay, even though you did not create, it's not a problem because when you get the job, mostly we work in the sandbox. Okay, so this will be like a one-time job. Just I'll be explaining and just understand that process. That would be sufficient. And now, just to show you, right? I'm trying to log into one of my account. It's a paid account. I have the Salesforce Enterprise Edition, and I have the license for sales application. Okay, so I mean, people also say Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, right? Also maybe Marketing Cloud, something like that, right? So mostly Sales Cloud means the sales application. Service Cloud means the service application, right? So like that. Yeah, now I'm trying to log in.
Shrinu, one
Yeah,
quick question. So, is it
yeah,
that we have to buy all sales, marketing service, or anything, whatever we want, we can pay for that? Is it like that?
yeah. So if you don't want everything,
Okay.
you can only purchase sales. You can only purchase service. That is possible.
So the price will vary, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
price, the licensing is varied.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so if you want everything, sales, service, everything, unlimited. Okay, so let's say I want only service. I want only sales. Go to enterprise. Okay, you can talk to Salesforce sales and they will suggest which is appropriate for you. Okay, so
Thank
just
you.
to understand. Yeah. So now I have only Sales Cloud license, right? Just I'm just trying to log into my account. Okay, I'm just passing my screen for a few seconds. Okay, just I'm trying to log into my production Salesforce account. It's opening. Okay, so now are you able to see my screen? So this is in general, this is a company name. Okay, so this is the account. It's loading now, right? This is a paid account. Okay, maybe just to show you. So if you go to this company, just to show you some differences between the developer edition and this one, right? So the difference is this is a paid account enterprise edition. So how we know when you go to the company information, see that company name and so here, right? This enterprise edition and this is there in one of the India server. This one, okay? So and also one of the most important thing, the space to store the data, right? When you deal with the right now, this is our right free account. So here for the developer edition account, Salesforce only assign 5 MB space, right? Only up to 5 MB data we can store. Really for the business, 5 MB is not at all sufficient. Okay, so maybe for our practice it is fine, only 5 MB. But when we deal with the right, so this one, and now if you see here, this is a paid account, right? So you see 10 GB. They are providing 10 GB data storage, right? But I am using only this much. File storage 13 GB. But here only 20 MB. So I mean, limitations are there, but it is forever. Okay. So, but some advantages also will be there, right? These are like just to restrict misusing this developer edition, right? So these are some limits, and the sandboxes are it's not possible to create. But developer edition, right? You can access all applications, sales, marketing, service. But this is a paid account, right? Enterprise edition. Here, only because I took license for sales, I can only access sales. If you see marketing, service, those are not there, right? So, and also I have license for only one user. Okay, so I'm paying only for one user. If I want one more user, I need to again pay to one more user, right? It's all based on how much you pay and only those. But in the developer edition, right? So here, Salesforce, they are offering to create 2 users with Salesforce license, right? So one more user also you can create with the Salesforce license. I mean, the other licenses, differences, any user, if the user is assigned with Salesforce license, they access all the standard applications, sales, marketing, service, those, whatever is purchased. But other licenses, example this one, maybe the based on the license type, the price what Salesforce charge is different. Okay, so they might charge less for this. So such kind of things are there. Okay, slowly with the discussions you will be knowing. Okay, now the main purpose of showing this is to show you about the sandbox, right? So click on sandboxes, and I think still it is opening. I think it is very slow. I think I need to check this IND, this server performance. Okay, so now if you see here, here we create the sandboxes. Okay, so sandbox is nothing but the copy of this production. Okay, we create multiple sandboxes, right? Test environments. So mostly when you work in the project, you see, right? We work in a dev sandbox to start doing the working, first a dev, and after that QA team, they do the testing. And you see UAT means user acceptance testing. Maybe Apple employees, they also do testing, user acceptance testing. Once the Apple employees, if they are satisfied, it will be moved to production, right? So this is the process followed. I think already we are late for today. So tomorrow will be, right, again understanding and explaining. So how it starts. So before we do the configuration development, So what are the other things we need to know? There are many Salesforce websites. So on top, if you see, there are many websites, right? What are these websites? Why we need to know? So those things, again, I need to explain. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we discuss these things and start with the project of where we configure and everything, right? It's not like randomly explaining something. We go with some flow, some organized process, right? So when we work also, we take the requirement, right? So what is the requirement? What is the purpose of the project? What are the requirements? How to achieve in the process of achieving the requirement? So what are the different tools we have and how we use those? So in such a way we discuss. Okay, so that will continue tomorrow, and all of you, tomorrow, the rest of the training from tomorrow, the timings as per India, these are the timings. So as per US EST time zone, this one, if you are in some other time zone, just please convert until ending of the training. This is the timing. Okay. So tomorrow also, you can use the same meeting link. Okay, but I'll drop one email where you can pay the fee. Okay, so next 2 days also you can join, but after that the meeting link will be changed and it will be shared with the people who paid. Okay, so that's the process. So yeah, we're done for today. Before ending, any questions? So make sure that you follow these timings from tomorrow. Yeah, so any questions before ending?
Yes, like we'll be adding to the groups like Salesforce marketing groups and jobs groups. Hello.
Sorry, yeah, can you
Yeah,
repeat your
we'll
question?
be adding to the Salesforce groups like certification groups and jobs groups.
Yeah, once from Monday I'll add.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, when I opened this trusted Salesforce website and when I'm checking for the service, I
Mm-hmm.
can see only American EMEA, and when I go to B2C Commerce Cloud,
Mm-hmm.
there I can see EMEA, America, and Asia Pacific. But when I go to the company information in my
Mm-hmm.
workspace, I can see the instances AP16.
Mm-hmm.
So when I try to search for this instance here, I don't find it.
Yeah. So did you go to the Salesforce services? You need to go to the Salesforce services, not
Okay.
B2C, right? This first option,
Okay.
Salesforce
Got it.
services, and Asia Pacific. Here it should be there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. These are other Salesforce products. Yep. So Salesforce company, they are acquiring many companies. Okay. There are many things are there, but it's not like practically no one knows everything. So most of the projects what we require, that's what we discuss. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Srinu,
any other questions? Yeah.
so I mean, I know this is a like a little more advanced. So the lead can convert it to opportunity account and contact. So when we see that account, is it like a business account or person account?
Yeah. So by default account is business.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So there is a concept called the person account. We need to enable that separately. Okay. So maybe for others to know, right? The business, right? When some company do the business, example, the Airtel broadband internet. Okay. So maybe one of the company, they need internet, or one person It's not maybe part of the company. Let's say for my home, I want internet. That I am a person. I don't belongs to any company, right? So some companies, they do directly business with some other company, or maybe with the individual, right? So Airtel is a company. They are dealing with the other company. So that we call as B2B. Okay, business to business. One company is doing business with other company. In general, in Salesforce, account is by default business, right? So, but they're dealing directly with the person, right? There's no company. So that time we say that as B2C, right? This company, right, doing business with a person contact. So that is B2C. So that time, since the contact won't be part of any company, right? So the account, there is an option to enable person account. When that is enabled, in contact, how we store the information in the same way we store here. That will be there. That is little advanced with the discussions we'll understand. Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Again, I am repeating tomorrow class timings. This one, right? If you have confusion, just India. This one, 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. So if you are in US, maybe you have different time zones, right? As per EST, this is the time. You can convert as per your time zone. Okay. Yeah. We'll continue tomorrow. Any last questions? Anything? Okay. Thank you.